Nothing to talk about. Dolphins-Browns preview. This one's going to be really interesting. Coming into that Steelers game, we both predicted a win. Now, again, we looked like idiots after that, but we predicted the win. Coming into this week against the Dolphins is a different story. Because to the Steelers, we thought they would rise up a little bit. We thought that they were going to improve. They didn't. Or not enough, at least. Against the Dolphins, it's a different story. Because now that we're talking about two teams that are, I don't want to say underachieving, because none of them, had that much necessarily going on. But two teams that are not performing well. Two teams that look bad. Two teams that are around on the same level. And so if you go against the Dolphins and you get embarrassed by the Dolphins, now I think we have a very different conversation about everybody. About Andrew Berry. I think about Kevin Stefanski, Dylan Gabriel. The three people that typically 100%. Get blamed the most. I think it becomes a very different conversation if you lose to the Dolphins. Now, even I, who've generally been a pretty big defender of Kevin Stefanski for his entire tenure with the Browns, even I will start to say, hey, maybe, despite what he's done in the past, despite his previous successes, I do believe that a coach can get stale. And maybe it's just time for us to move on. And I could see him even going on and being successful somewhere else. But I don't know that it's going to happen here.
Sometimes you have to learn the lessons.
Yeah.
It does happen.
If they lose to the Dolphins. What are your expectations for this game?
Actually, I know I said it last week, but I do think they're going to win. I'm not super confident. I will say the Dolphins have been putting up a lot of fight in the last couple games.
Yeah.
They have been finding ways to score points, but they are a little more finesse in the running game. So even though the last couple weeks have not been great in the run game, looking at Mason Graham a little bit, like, hey, buddy, we drafted you real high. We'd like you to show up again. But at the end of the day, I got to think they do have some athleticism on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I got to think they can game plan around a little bit, and Tua can't throw the ball deep. Like, you can guard the underneath. You can pick off those routes. Like,
the question is, are they going to do that?
I don't know.
Jim Schwartz isn't exactly he's not the adjustment king. But yes, he does like getting aggressive.
Right, I'm saying, but it plays into what he likes to do.
Right.
If it wasn't for that, I agree with you. But since I think it plays into what he likes to do, you might see that. And also, the biggest thing is, I think the offense will play pretty well because they have a terrible run defense. Judkins should be able to get a little movement going.
Yeah,
and then I think
and Judkins opens up
the play action.
Judkins opens up everything.
They have a bad defense, so I think there'll be openings for guys like Fannin, etc. And I think if the offense does get going and get a few touchdowns,
so you're getting me to start changing my opinion now. I knew what I was going to predict before, but now you're getting me to think.
Defense gets a kick, like, oh, they're going to do something this game. You might actually see them play pretty good. I would not at all be surprised if the Dolphins won. They're probably a little bit better, even though they're not better, but like the way they've been playing. But I think they might get something up. But one thing I will say is I actually think Dylan Gabriel's got a lot better deep ball than people think, particularly in the chunk play segment. His 25, 30 yarders. You've noticed I've seen him twice, like, go out on the run and throw a dime. Like, threw a dime.
Yeah, one of those that was dropped.
And Fannon's, he was on the run and threw it like 25 yards downfield and it was beautiful.
Fannon's had a couple drops too, by the way, which is really frustrating.
Weird because he did not in college.
Yeah, so you just hope that that's a fluke, but hopefully Jerry Jeudy's not rubbing off on people.
It might be as he's trying to learn being a rookie that his concentration is the same because he's feeling more pressure on understanding different elements. And so a lot of times
his mind could be in other places.
So that could be what it is.
Yeah.
But point being, I think there is something there. So if he actually gets time, I think you'll actually see that convert a few times.
Yeah.
So
for me,
maybe I'm just being eternally optimistic, but I actually think they're going to get the win. I think they're going to put it up, and it's going to be like 24 to. See,
for me, it's flipped. I came into this segment, to this episode, thinking 24-17 Browns are going to lose this game. I think there's a clear path to success, and I think that path to success is Quinshon Judkins. Because when Quinshon Judkins comes in, I mean, he can basically be an offense all on his own. He can be a touchdown drive all on his own, and we've seen him do that before. And then, he could punch it at the end, or Dylan could punch it at the end, or whatever, right? Quinshon Judkins can be an offensive drive and a scorer completely on his own. And then on top of that, obviously that makes it a little easier on the offensive line because the defense has to be a little more honest. It opens up the short game, the long game. It opens up everything in the passing game if Quinshon Judkins can get going. And that was one of the biggest problems against the Steelers. It wasn't so much that Dylan Gabriel was, messing up every play, but a lot of it was just they were passing too much. It was too predictable. It was too easy for the Steelers to cover all of their bases. And the Browns don't have receivers that are smart enough to get around zone defenses or athletic and route running gods that they could just, cross them up or whatever, right? Carve them up. Sorry, not cross them up. Carve them up. That wasn't going to happen. And so to me, that's the path, right? If Quinshon Judkins goes for over 100 yards, I think the Browns win this game. But I think if Quinshon Judkins is under 100 yards, I think the Browns lose 24-17. I do think Mike McDaniel, especially with the way the defense has been slipping, I think Mike McDaniel will scheme his way towards some more scores. I think the Browns have been They're going to give them one. They're going to gift them a score. Maybe a field goal, maybe it'll be a touchdown, but I think they're going to gift them something one way or another. And I think the Browns are going to lose this game, unfortunately, 24-17. And this does, by the way, mark the first week of the season that we disagree.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
So we'll see what happens, yeah.